how's it going? Simon here from CD Revival once again with another ranking video. Today I'm going to be ranking my CD collection and it's going to be the turn of the Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys, as you may know, hip hop kind of group, a little bit different to a lot of hip hop groups. They do a lot of their own instruments, or did, should I say. Formed in 1981 in New York. Started off as like a sort of hardcore punk kind of band. Did a few other bits like Cookie Puss, which is a sort of weird sampley, I don't even know what it is, but it's a thing. And then they became the band that they are today, with the main three members, Adam Horovitz, Ad Rock, Mike Diamond, Mike D, and MCA Adam Yauch. Adam Yauch unfortunately died in 2012, so that was pretty much the end of them. Unfortunately, the two decided they weren't going to carry on, rightly so, because he was, one of the driving forces, and just a great guy. So a sad loss to the music world. But without further ado, we're going to go into my studio albums of the Beastie Boys, ranked from worst to best. No bad albums; they're all like good, but my least favourite to favourite, should I say. Not an easy ranking for me, to be honest with you. Especially the top three were kind of they're all tens, but anyway. So without further ado, my number 8 is this one here, which is The Mix Up. This one came out in 2007, and yeah, very much a departure for them. It's all instrumental tracks. So it's not bad. It's interesting enough. But yeah, definitely for me the weakest album. There's no hip hop elements, there's no vocals at all. There was rumours that they were going to do a vocal version of it, but that never happened. But yeah, a few title tracks: Beat for My Name, 14th Street Break, Electric Worm, Rat Cage. Yeah, it's an interesting curio, and it is an official part of their discography. It's they're all originals, they're not on anything else, but unless you're a completist for the Beastie Boys, you don't really need it in your life, but it's worth having if you can pick it up for a decent price, which I did. So that's number 8, The Mix Up from 2007. My number 7 album is this one here from 1994, Ill Communication. A lot of people really like this album. When it came out, I was kind of disappointed. It's I don't know, it plays a bit safe. It's it's not bad once again, but it's definitely my least favourite of their standard albums. Obviously Sabotage comes from this, which is one of their most famous tracks. Great video for that one. It's also got Sure Shot, Root Down. It's got some of the instrumental stuff on here is actually the best stuff on here, I think. It's got Ricky's theme, which I really love. It's on Eugene's Lament, which is another really good instrumental track as well. But yeah, Get It Together is a kind of decent track that's got Q-Tip on it from Tribe Called Quest. But yeah, it's not my favourite of theirs at all by a long stretch. B-Boys Making with the Freaks, a good one. Heart Attack Man you've got, which is they've gone back to their sort of punky hardcore roots. But yeah, it's okay. It's definitely one of the weaker ones in their discography for me. That's number 7, Ill Communication from 1994. All the rest of these I do really like. Next one, at number 6, I've gone for Hello Nasty, and that's from 1998. This one's the tour edition, so it's got a bonus CD with it. It kind of folds out and kind of gone for a spacey theme. As you can see there. So yeah, this one's a good album. A lot of different stuff on here. Intergalactic was the big single from it, and Body Moving also another really big single from that as well. And other good tracks are Putting Shame in Your Game, Remote Control's a good one, it's quite rocking. Mike D does the vocals on that. The Move's really good. Just a Test, that's a good one. A few instrumentals on it, Sneaking Out the Hospital. It's got Dr. Lee PhD, which is like a dub kind of reggae one as well, with Lee Scratch Perry doing the vocals. Negotiation Limerick Files, a good track. 3 MCs and 1 DJ. That's the introduction of Mixmaster Mike, who was their second DJ after DJ Hurricane, who featured on their first few albums. But yeah, a lot of different varied stuff on this one. Well worth a listen. A lot better than Ill Communication, and yeah, well worth your time, as I say most of their albums are. So yeah, that is number 6, Hello Nasty from 1998. Well worth checking out. And then we've got number 5, which is 5 Boroughs from 2004. This one here. I've got a standard edition. I've also got this digipack one as well, which folds out. I've got 2 versions of this. I've got 2 versions of Hello Nasty as well. I've got the original version. Also, you got that there. All sorts of stuff going on there. This one is very much just a standard hip hop album. Quite electronic in a lot of it, but it's, compared to what they had been doing for the last couple of albums, is very just straight up hip hop. Every track, there's none of their like trademark instrumentals. All shortish songs as well. But yeah, just pure hip hop, this one, which is good, and obviously, you know, I do enjoy it, and that's why it's my number 5. But yeah, not a lot of variation in it, but some really good tracks. To check it out is a good one. It's the start single. You got Right Now, Triple Trouble, Open Letter to the NYC, which was sort of referencing the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, obviously, from yeah. So obviously, them being from New York, it sort of hit home quite hard with them. Other good tracks on there. Oh Word's a really good one. That's It, That's All, that's a good one. Shazam's a really good one. We Got that's a good one. Rhyme the Rhyme Well. It's a solid album all the way through, but it does lack variety, so it's quite long. So it does get a little bit kind of yeah. It's a not a tough listen, but it's yeah, it gets a bit less varied. But I do prefer it to Hello Nasty, just because of the straight up hip hop aspect. But yeah, really good album. It's to 5 Boroughs from 2004. My number 4 pick is their last album they did, which is Hot Sauce Committee Part 2. That came out in 2011. This has got like a slipcase with it as well, which has got some very random stuff going on. So yeah, just random mugshot drawings as well. Got the CD, and also got the lyrics on one side with more just yeah randomness going on. But yeah, this one, say last album, was originally, there is no Hot Sauce Committee Part 1, only Part 2. They were originally going to release it in 2009 as Hot Sauce Committee Part 1 and make it a 2-part thing. Then Adam Yauch got diagnosed with cancer, so he went into treatment for that. So they eventually released it in 2011 once he'd recovered. And then unfortunately he passed in 2012, so there was no, there was no extra Part 1 or anything like that, which was a shame. But yeah, this one, good album to sign off with, I think. A lot of really strong material on this, very varied. We have got Make Some Noise, which was the big single. Too Many Rappers features Nas, the rapper, which is excellent. Lee Major's Come Again, which is the first sort of single from it, which is a real, once again, like a hardcore punk kind of thing. Non-Stop Disco Power Pack's excellent. Okay, really good. Say It Again's really good, with some really cool guitar work on it. It's got Don't Play No Game That I Can't Win featuring Santa Gold, which is a bit of a reggae style one as well. but yeah, a really good album to sign off with. Um, highly recommend this one if you've not heard it. A lot of variety, just a sort of Beastie Boys 101 if you like. It's got all their styles on it, and yeah, it doesn't get boring. Just a really superb album. So yeah, that's their final album for 2011. That's my number 4. So the 3 top ones, I did struggle with which I was going to put top, which like just it was difficult because I think all the 3 albums that I've got in my top 3 are all 10 out of 10s, like superb albums. It's nothing to dislike about them. I love every single one. But at number 3, I have gone for their debut album, License to Ill, which is, yeah, when this came out when I was a kid, this was just like the coolest album ever. Came out on Def Jam Records. They only did one album with Def Jam Records. Rick Rubin produced, and it's just a great fusion of like rap and rock at the time when rap and rock was a new thing. Obviously Run DMC had done Walk This Way, and then the Beastie Boys came out. 5 Year Right to Party was the original single on this, which is obviously a fusion of rap and rock, and then you've got No Sleep Till Brooklyn with Kerry King on guitar. But the album's more than just that. I mean, 5 For Your Right's probably one of the weaker tracks on here. Rhyming and Stealing to open up with takes the drum break from When the Levee Breaks, and the guitar riff from Sweet Leaf by Sabbath. So yeah, just an awesome fusion, new style. It's a fantastic track, one of the best on here. She's Crafty takes like The Ocean from Led Zeppelin. Posse in Effect. And you've got Slow Ride, you've got Girls, which is a kind of gimmicky one. Paul Revere, which is a really stripped down, like awesome like story. Hold It Now, Hit It was a very early single from it, before they even got famous. Brass Monkey, based on that will pretty much blow your speakers out. Slow and Low, Time to Get Ill. Every song on this is an absolute banger. Still listen to it to this day, because it's just great fun. And yeah, tough to beat, but there are 2 albums better than this. So, but yeah, License to Ill, childish but great fun, and just a brilliantly produced, great sounding album even to this day for me. So that came out in 1986. My number 2 album, which may surprise a few people because this is once again, well, it's just an all-time classic, Paul's Boutique. This came out in 1989. I remember when this came out, and I was disappointed with this because obviously listening to License to Ill, you were expecting like more of the same kind of thing, and this one's nothing like it. I mean, it's heavy. It's like just more samples than probably any other album ever. But they've like gone like pure hip hop, like. And just really clever use of sampling all the way through, like a rich tapestry of sound. Just an incredible album. When I first got it, I was like, do you know what, I don't know if I like that. But the more you listen to it, the more it grows on you, and it's just an absolute masterpiece. It came out in 1989, as I say. So 3 years after License to Ill, they didn't work with Rick Rubin, they didn't work with Def Jam again. It's got the Dust Brothers doing a lot of the sampling and the music on it, but yeah, this is a great hip hop album. Shake Your Rump, classic song to start off with. You've got Eggman, Sounds of Science, Car Thief, Looking Down the Barrel of a Gun, which is like quite a rocky one on there, but it's the only rocky one. And large part of the side 2 is the B-Boy Bouillabaisse, which is like a medley of different tracks really, and that for me is the high point of the album. It's like absolutely superb. Goes on for quite a while, and there's lots of different bits in it, and it just all mixes together. It's absolutely perfect. So yeah, Paul's Boutique from '89. Like a wonderful album, like very good indeed. Doesn't get too much better than that, but I have got one higher than that, which I will detail now. My number 1 Beastie Boys album is Check Your Head from 1992. I love this album so much, and once again, when I first got it, I didn't really think I liked it too much. Pass the Mic was the original single, and that came out, and I liked that a lot. And then the album came out, and they had gone from like sampling and doing all this stuff to like playing instruments basically. So a lot of the hip hop is like backed with them doing instruments, and there's a lot of instrumentals on here as well. And there is like sort of punkier stuff also. So it was a bit too much for my young mind to take. But as you listen to it more and more and more and more, it's like, oh yeah, no, this kicks ass basically. So yeah, standout tracks from it: "Pass the Mic," which is the original single. You've got "So What You Want," which is a good like heavy track as well. Bit of a famous one. "The Maestro" I really love. My favourite track on here actually is "Professor Booty," which is more of a standard hip hop track, funnily enough. But yeah, you got "Lighten Up," which is like a really mellow instrumental track. "Namaste," which is a mellow instrumental track. "Live at PJ's" is a really good track. "Mark on the Bus" is a sort of comedy, like, you know, less than a minute. "In Threes" is a really, really good one. "Pow" is an instrumental, which is like a funky one which speeds up and then slows down, and that's just so cool. "Something's Gotta Give," that's a really mellow track with a sort of almost Planet Caravan style vocal on it. "Stand Together," "Finger Licking Good's" great. It's just, yeah, it's top to bottom, but just a great album. So much variety on it. And yeah, takes a few listens to get into, but once you do, it's stuck there. Jimmy James, the start-off track on this, originally came with a load of Hendrix samples all over it, so they had to sort of change that for the album. But I think that's on they released that on the Sounds of Science compilation in its original form, so I managed to get them cleared, the samples. So anyway, Wittering. "Check Your Head" from 1992, my favourite Beastie Boys album. Not by a long shot. As I say, the top three are kind of, you know, it hurt me to put License to Ill at number 3, because, you know, they're all so good. But yeah, "Check Your Head," number 1. Got a couple of other things just to show as well. I've got the Sounds of Science, the Beastie Boys anthology, which is a 2-disc set. That's the back cover, them as children. So you've got 2 discs, got a couple of booklets. It's got a lot of their covers on there and stuff like that. Loads of really cool stuff inside. Well worth getting. It's like, obviously it's their greatest hits, if you like, but it's a 2-disc set, and it's got a lot of unreleased stuff on there as well. So you've got like "She's On It," which was an early single. You've got a cover of "Benny and the Jets," which I think is sung by one of their roadies, which is kind of comical. "Alive," which is a brand new track on there as well. That's well worth having. Yeah, the original version of Jimmy James. "Live Wire," which is I think that was there's a couple of B-sides on it, that's one of them. A few remixes, "Dub the Mic." But yeah, that's well worth getting. That came out in 1999, but double CD collection. I think you can get that fairly reasonably as well, man. But so well worth checking out if you're new to the Beastie Boys and you just want to see what they're all about. You cannot go far wrong with that one. I've also got the In Sound from Way Out. And that is basically a collection of like the instrumental tracks from "Check Your Head," "Ill Communication," and a few other bits as well. A couple of B-sides also, and the stuff that like "Lighten Up" and that, they've taken the vocals out, so it's a pure instrumental album, but it's stuff that kind of has been on their other albums. But as a collection, if you want to just chill out and listen to some really mellow stuff, really enjoy that. Actually, probably play that way more than I should. And I've got a couple of CD singles of "Body Moving," so that's from the Hello Nasty album. So yeah, they did 2 versions of that. Got both of those, and I've also got a couple of random cassette singles. So I've got the cassette single of Pastor Mike, and I've also got the cassette single of Intergalactic as well. It's got a few remixes on it, but yeah, you don't see them in the wild too often anymore. Random cassette slipcase. So yeah, that's my Beastie Boys album ranking, and I hope you found it interesting. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, I don't know, but if you like the Beastie Boys, comment below, and like and subscribe. So I'll see you all next time for another CD collection video. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it steady. Cheers.